Okay, namaste. So today we are going to talk about something called as non-duality. Non-duality means not two. You can come here also, Sachin. You don't need to be so separate. Non-duality, no separation. We come, we say no, not two. We say not two. Why do we say not two? And we don't say not one, not we don't say one, or we don't say not three, or we don't say four. We say not two. And this implies that the truth that all of us are seeking in some way or the other. Maybe some of us are trying yoga, some of us are trying meditation, some of us are trying different stuff. And the truth or happiness or peace or whatever that object of seeking is not separate. It's not far away from us. It's not somewhere away. So Ramana Maharshi talks about something called as uh, the story of the necklace, lost necklace. I don't know if you heard this story. So there's a woman, she loses her necklace. Hello, come for the workshop? Yeah. Just take a pillow and sit. Yeah. Yeah, welcome. So Ramana Maharshi tells a story about the lost necklace. So there's a woman, she loses her necklace and she looks for it. Like, so she says, she goes and asks for help. Like, I've lost my necklace, so I need to find it. So someone tells her that, okay, I'll take you to someone who is an expert at finding necklaces. And she says, okay, fine, take me to that person. So he says, okay, but you'll have to pay for the taxi, you will have to pay for my chai, refreshments, for my cigarettes. And she said, okay, fine, I'll do all of that. And on the way, they stop, they have chai, they eat something, and then they go to the necklace finder. So when they go to the necklace finder, he's sitting there in meditative posture, and he tells the woman, okay, take your hand to your heart chakra and feel your necklace in your neck. And she says, yeah, I found my necklace, I found my necklace. And she had never lost her necklace. She was wearing it all the time, but she was looking for it outside. Many times you see, old people, even young people who have glasses. None of us have glasses. Oh, you have glasses. So I also have glasses. So sometimes we wear the glasses and we look for the glasses. Have you done that? So that kind of thing. So that's why we call this knowledge or this message as non-duality, which means it is not separate from us. You are already wearing your glasses. You already have your necklace. The fish is already in the sea. Imagine, if a fish says, I'm looking for water. The fish is already in the water. So why are we looking for something outside? Or we are also told it is inside. Right? In Buddhism or meditation, we say, okay, now you meditate, you will find something inside, or you will lose some of those samskaras or something that is there. Samskaras are impressions. And these impressions are going to lead to certain expressions. Right? If I have the impressions to be a healer, I'll become a healer, I'll do workshops and blah, blah, blah. And whatever it is. And as per the impressions of another person, what I do may be valuable for them. What I express might be valuable for them based on those impressions and what we express. But these impressions is not who I am. So, I am that. There was a book by Nisargadatta Maharaj. You read it? It's a book called I Am That. So, it means that I am already that. And in Indian Advaita texts, we call it Tattvamasi. You are already that. So there is no difference, there is no separation, there is nowhere to go, there is nowhere to seek as per this message. Okay, so this is, we call this message as the end of seeking, because seeking is not just going to Shita, sitting in meditation, or not just coming to Dharamshala or Rishikesh. Seeking can be many things. For some it can be money, for some it can be love, for some it can be different things. But this we call as the end of seeking, this message. So you want to share a little bit about yourself so that I know what I have to speak or what has to come through. Maybe a little bit why you came here, if you know something about non-duality, or if you've done something connected with spirituality, or something like that. If you want, you can share. Yeah.
Do I share first?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Vika V, and I'm from Malaysia. So, why am I here for this? Who am I workshop is I actually, just walk through a billboard and something is
No,
like,
that is for everyone. But why? What brings you
yeah,
here?
yeah, and then it's just a story like what brings me here because like yeah, just a sound of myself telling me that I should come.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, and then and my intention for here is actually I've been in Dharamshala for 3 months and this is the second month.
Ah, long time.
So I think I very agree with a lot of people in this materialism world is we our people tend to seek a lot of things, including me myself, seek a lot of fame, power, money, and we thought that this is all the happiness and I really keen to want to find who am I in certain things when I been broken down, all my ego has been broken down and I got fame, I got money and I got everything, but why would I don't have happiness that people tell me that I can get? People tend to tell me that if I get famous I'm an influencer, so if I get famous then I will get happiness, but I don't get happiness. And people tell me that if I already earn that much of money and I can get happiness, but I already reached that point, why did I still cry every day? So like it's just like a fish seeking a water in a water. So I started to ask myself what is happiness and I really don't know and I still seek for it. So yeah, I came to Dharamsala and I really sit myself in silence and I found a lot of happiness from inside and every time when I sit with myself without asking love from others, without asking conversation, when I feel the stillness and I feel the things and I started to feel that non-dualistic this. Yeah. So but I'm still keep practicing and I wanted to know more way from the Indian ancient knowledge from different way because I'm actually a Buddhist. Yeah. No, I'm actually a Christian turns to Buddhist. Yes. Because Christian can't give me some answer,
Yeah.
Christian, the God just wants you to follow. But yeah, you just follow me. You follow me and you'll go to heaven, but I don't want to go to heaven. I want experience. I want the way of stop this cycle, from the loop. Yeah, so this is so
Good.
yeah.
That's good. Okay, thank you for joining.
Mm.
Seeking, seeking has a way to morph itself in different ways. First, it is material. Maybe first it is in the family. You're seeking your mother's validation. Then you are. Then it turns into material seeking, where you say, "I should get good education. I should get this." Like in India, we say first you have to become a first you have to complete your school, then after completing school you have to say you complete your education, become a professional. When you become a professional, you say now you should find a girl, when you find a wife or husband or whatever, and then when you find a wife or husband or whatever, then they say you should have so many children, and when you have the children they say now you should get your children educated, and then The children are educated, how you should get them married. Once they are married, make sure they have children.
Yeah.
So this is a never-ending cycle.
It's a loop.
It's a loop. And the seeking, the object of seeking may change. So then what we do is, like Ramana Maharshi, in some of his talks, he addresses spiritual seeking also as an addiction. Because then again we are looking for answers in a different, now you're wearing the robes and you're wearing something spiritual, you're wearing Rudraksh, you're wearing different jewelry, but you're still seeking for answers. So this message is in a way the end of seeking. It doesn't mean the end of meditation, yoga, you can still do all those things. But you don't burden those things with your expectation that certain things should happen, because the one who is seeking is unreal. We say he is unreal. The one who is seeking, one who is asking all these things is unreal. But he has a certain existence, he has a certain appearance, which is fine, which we celebrate, which is fine. Okay, so next, who wants to talk about themselves?
I'm Shubhanga, and I live mostly in Gurgaon and Goa. And so I've always been like very spiritual from as far back as I can remember. But I only started meditating like it's going to be 1 year since I started. And yeah, I'm hoping I want to learn more about self inquiry so that I can incorporate it in my meditation.
Yeah. So sadness is something sadness, all of you know sadness. So sadness is something we claim and we say it is my sadness. But actually sadness is, sadness is, but then we say my sadness, my story is so different, my journey is so special. And then there is this hero's journey, there is a glorification. Glorification may be positive or negative. That, oh, I had such shitty parents, I did this, I did that. And there is this whole story that we carry. So we say that what we have lived is a story. But not story in the sense of saying that you have never experienced it. You have experienced it, it has happened at some level. There is an appearance of that. But it is not, but then we see something which we already are, which we'll come to. Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Tyler. What are the points that I should hit?
No, anything, why you came here, what brings you here, or whatever, non-duality, self-inquiry.
Well, I guess initially, just India as a whole, just for spiritual seeking in a way.
Yes.
And wanting to discover different modalities that will kind of help with that even keenness, just balance and internally, and learning how to allow that to not just be within myself, but to also the interactions with the world, and to not feel like I need to be in a cave or in a bubble of my own, but that it is not me versus the world, but the balance and harmony in all the interactions of life. And I guess not having a duality between me and the outside world, so creating harmony between flow, between my inner existence and external existence. That's potentially the aim.
Good.
Why did I come here for?
Is it recording?
Yes.
She's checking properly.
Yeah.
I came here with you for this workshop because I also want to listen to you, and I want to experience the non-duality.
Okay, good.
Because lots of things are happening in the life. You know very well. You know me very well. So there are some things are going on, and everything is going on like that. I had taken the break and came here for.
Yeah. Okay. So you come for some break and healing journey. Okay, good. So now we call something called as neti neti. Has anyone heard neti neti? You heard?
This, not that.
Yeah. not this, not that. Like in India, when this when the young girls, they are shown there's a system of arranged marriage. You said you're from the US? Yeah. So there's a system of arranged marriage in India, and then when the girl is shown the pictures, they show her different pictures of men, of guys, who the parents think may be suitable. And when she sees the picture, she says, not this. Then she shows this picture, not that. So that is neti neti, negation. You reject everything. And what you remain with is you. Right? So we use negation, removing all that is we are not. That is the idea of neti neti. So let's say I am Floyd. This is my name. I am Floyd. Then no, Floyd is a name given to you. Then I am an engineer. No, engineering is something you learn, but you're not an engineer. It's a skill you have. Okay. I am a teacher. No, teaching is something you do, but you are not a teacher. So in this way, we peel off all the layers of the onion. And you're remained with the core, who you are, really, who am I? That's what we call. So that is the idea here. And neti neti, so non-duality is not spirituality as such. Because it doesn't need any symbol, it doesn't need any support. It's not, in that sense, it is not spirituality, though it may be more, like UG Krishnamurti used to say, like they asked him, like, if your work is not spiritual, why do all the Osho people and J. Krishnamurti people and all the Ramana people, why do they come to you? And UG Krishnamurti said, they are all it so happens that all the devotees of Rajneesh and J. Krishnamurti, they come to me. But it's not spirituality, it's not religion, it's not yoga. Right? We are in a yoga studio, but this is not yoga. Then it's not bhakti, it's not devotion. It's not, of course, it is not something materialistic. So non-duality cannot be defined. Even the definition itself is negation, non-duality, not to. So negating all that, we are not. And anything, any story that you are carrying which gives you sadness, which gives you grief, the you who is experiencing, we call him as an action figure or a character. Different teachers use different names. Some of them say there's an author. I write my story, I'm the author. Some say action figure, I'm the action figure. Who appears in the world, we can see that you have a certain story, you did this, you did that. Or we can call it as a character in the play. So what we are seeking, or what is the source, is manifesting in different forms, and it is called as Leela. Leela is a dance, Leela is a play. So this Leela is enacted. Different people take up different roles and they love each other, they hate each other, they torment each other, they fight each other. And this same source is coming in different forms. Right? So you go from the same flour, you can make bread, you can make pizza, you can make hundreds of things. But it's the same flour, ultimately. You say, oh, I'm eating a healthy bun, and then you realize it's refined flour. Or just some refined flour with addition of some millets or something like that. We can't escape that refined flour. Right? So in that way, this is something we cannot escape. Even refined flour you can escape. If you want, you can eat leaves or fruits or whatever. But this is something we cannot escape, just like we said, the fish is in the water. So what we are is what we are seeking. But the one who is seeking is not what we are.
What we are seeking is not we are.
What we already are. And being already that, we are seeking for it apparently outside. But the one who is seeking is the unreal, and hence the unreal cannot ever find the real. Because who is seeking? Like, who came on this journey to India? Who sat on the flight to India? It is an identity. It is a construct called as Vika, right? Vika or Tyler or whatever. Different names. That is an idea. That is an identity. It is a story created by the social conditioning, parental conditioning, genetic conditioning, cultural conditioning, geographical conditioning, and different types of conditioning. Put together creates this story, creates this object. And this as a story. There's a not a funny thing, but a strange thing which I noticed. One of my friend, he was about 70, 80 years old. His wife died. And she was sick with cancer for 2 or 3 months. And they were trying for everything as usual, chemotherapy and all that, try to keep the body alive somehow. So when he was in hospital for last 4 5 days, he was calling me and he was giving updates. This happened, that happened, things like that. So you need a pillow or something? Take from here. This pillows. So then he was giving me updates from the hospital that Floyd, now she is okay, she's recovering. The next day something else is happening. Third day something else. She ate some food or blah blah blah, whatever. On the last day when she died, I called him and I said, any message mean that okay, she's no more? And his wife's name was Elsa. So he said, Elsa is no more. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then I called him just to ask what's going on. And I said, where is she now? And he said, the body is in the morgue. This is the first time he addressed her, not as Elsa, but the body is in the morgue. So there was, and he's not into non-duality or something like that, so, but there was this firm conviction that that body is not Elsa. That's why he said the body is in the morgue. He didn't say Elsa is now in the morgue. So there was such a firm conviction. That moment, this very second she died, it was the body. It was not Elsa anymore. And imagine the number of years he must have slept with her. He has 2 kids, had sex, did everything, got married, had pictures together, traveled together. But the moment she died, it is the body. And he or any one of us wants to get rid of it. Even if he's my best friend, I will want to get rid of his body as soon as possible. I won't say, oh, okay, now my best friend, I have few days, let me keep him in my bed for some time, right? Even if your boyfriend dies, you will not want to keep him. Even if your husband dies, you will not want to keep him in bed for one night. No? You say, no, it will start thinking something will happen. So that is the value of this object. Even if your boyfriend has the best chiseled body or girlfriend has the best whatever body, you will not want to keep her, oh, okay, now last few minutes. No, you get rid of it. So again, when we come to negation, neti neti, I am not the body. So we say I am not the body. Because body, the moment it is dead, story is over. You no longer considered. You do the last bit and you get rid of it. Then what else? What are the other things you can negate? Let's say the mind. So the issue is not the mind. Normally you say, oh, my mind is troubling me, this is happening. The issue is that you have claimed the mind. We have claimed the mind, that it is my mind. Mind is minding, doing its stuff, but we claim it. And the moment we claim it, it becomes personal. We make it personal. And because we make it personal, once it is personal, then it hurts. Right? A woman is fighting on the street. A man is fighting on the street. It's fine. Okay, someone is fighting on the street. But when you say, my man is fighting on the street, my woman is fighting on the street, that's when all the issues start. The claiming. And the funny thing is of the mind is that it will claim everything initially, maybe material stuff, but then it will also claim the spiritual stuff. And that's when the aha, the juice or the nectar of what you seemingly got, it disappears. When you say, oh, I went to Tushita, and the moment you come out and there's a claiming which happens, oh, I meditated so well today. And that's the end of it. That aha or that whatever was happening it's gone. The moment it's got claimed, it's gone. And the claiming will happen. So what we are talking about is the identification, even with the seeker. Even the seeker is identified. The one who's looking for some end goal. In this case, maybe it is moksha, maybe it is nirvana, maybe it is enlightenment. And maybe, I don't know, maybe these things exist. They may exist, but there may be methods, like yoga is a path, they say, to liberation. And path implies that there is a body, that there is an entity, right? Without a path is for whom? The path is for an entity. The entity could be a person, could be a car, could be water, but you create a path for it. So the path implies there is a body. The path implies there is a action figure or an entity which has to go from point A to some ultimate point B. So we are talking about not leaving the path. You can be with your path if you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, continue with the path, but don't burden it with this whole idea that I have to get there, I have to do this. Because that is a function of your samskaras. And there is no control, there is no control on samskaras. What can you do? There are certain impressions, they will find expression. There are certain seeds that will give growth to certain kind of plants or weeds or whatever. They don't have control. But why do we burden this system with so much of doing and striving and seeking and motion? Something, we want something to do. If the material thing is handed, it's not giving us joy. Now let's try the spiritual thing. Then there's an identity, spiritual identity also. And eventually that identity also needs to dissolve, may not dissolve also because it doesn't exist, first of all. It's non-existent. So we start with the premise that all this facade or identity or ego or whatever you call it, it's actually non-existence. And it's for us to not look at the ego, but to see it. Looking and seeing are two different things. We don't look at the ego, because looking means then we are again creating a duality. But when we see it, seeing implies more of an awareness.
But my question is, if we didn't walk the path, how we know that? Is it like only that we walk the path, only that we know that's not we want, right?
Yeah. So if we don't walk the path, how do we know what? That there is no path.
Yes, there's no pathers, there's pathers.
Apparently there is a path, and all these things in a great way, like for me as a seeker, the journey was maybe 18 years or whatever. So the utility is to see its futility, to see its failure. That I cannot use a path to effect what is called as enlightenment or moksha. And eventually when we go even into the bhakti traditions, the devotional traditions of Rumi, Kabir, Meera, so many others in India. When we go to the bhakti tradition, they say ultimately God, you have to come in, you have to do your job and you have to give me your realization. If I need to have devotion for you, if I need to have bhakti for you, you have to instill that bhakti in me. So at that point, that is a point of non-duality. So bhakti and non-duality meet. Devotion and non-duality meet. They are not separate. So the utility of following these paths, exploring, finding new things. First of all, of course, you meet beautiful people. You can meet them, you can talk to them. Hi, hello, are you a Leo? Are you a Scorpio? Oh, you went to Vipassana. So you can have all these nice talks. Then you can date someone. Then you can find partners for drinking, smoking, or whatever other things you do. Could go for concert. So that is for the action figure. There's always a benefit when you're in a community. That is for the character. But overall, eventually, the character needs to get tired out, gets tired of this seeking eventually, and realizes that the failure of all this seeking has made him realize that I am already that. So that's why the woman had to be taken to the necklace finder, so that she eventually realizes she already has it with her. But if that guy had or just told her that she has it, then she would have not valued that suggestion, right? So sometimes people come to this workshop and they say, "How can it be so easy?" They get very triggered, you know. They pull out their 500 rupees and they leave because they say, "If it's so easy, why the fuck am I paying you?" You know? So that kind of thing. So it is a matter of seeing, and in this session, we'll try to see a little bit. Whatever we see, we see. Okay. So there are some exercises or some activities which can help us to see. They are not practices which you will do forever. You need not do them even for the second time. If you like, you can do them. If you like, you can share them. We'll share those practices, those activities with others. It's your choice. Okay. So you want to put this off? You can just recording. You can put off. Be doing some things now.